museum, like put it in a museum on a premier location and just label it, this is how you story tell right here. Kyoto by Phoebe Bridgers. What's going on, everyone? Hope you're all doing well. Hope your weekend is going wonderfully and continues to go wonderfully. I'm very excited for today's video. This is I'm going to consider this my first time listening to this artist, since the one song that I did listen to was a feature. She was featured on Taylor Swift's Nothing New, which immediately catapulted itself into one of my top 5 Taylor Swift songs. And a lot of it had to do with Miss Phoebe Bridgers, and what she gave me on that song categorized her very quickly as dark magic, and that seemed to catch on with a lot of her fans that happened to watch that video of mine.
Oh, will it be cute?
Is this Phoebe?
All this crying in my room, tired from turning red and faking smiles.
I've never heard a voice like hers. It's like magic, but dark magic. And so if I give her that sort of title based off of one song and a feature at that, and a lot of her fans say, yeah, that is the perfect sort of nickname for her voice and just her whole aura, then I take that as that's how a lot of her music is going to sound. And if that's the case, I'm so here for that. A lot of times with features, you don't know, if someone does a feature on another song, you don't know if you can expect that style in their own solo music, because the feature, you might try and adapt yourself to the main artist's style that you're featuring on. So needless to say, I'm incredibly excited for this. I've also got some YouTube homies who are huge fans themselves of Phoebe Bridgers, and these are people of taste. So I again continue to anticipate some pretty great music here. That being said, we're listening to Punisher. It's the most recent album. As always, the fully, completely uncut, unedited version of this reaction to this album is on my Patreon, along with all the other ones and a lot more other stuff. The link is in the description down below. This first track is DVD Menu. By the way, I'm just really excited because I've heard a lot of really great things about this album for a while now, for pretty much as long as I've had the channel. I'm looking at the track list here, and the names just are pretty fascinating. A Garden Song, love that. I don't even know what track 3, how to pronounce that or what that means, but that already interests me. Chinese Satellite, Moon Song, Savior Complex, I See You. There's a lot of really interesting stuff to just look at without even starting the album yet. So she's got me hooked in already. All right, DVD Menu, first track. So as someone who, first of all, very eerie, super eerie, very like spine tingling sort of feeling as that song continues on and on. It's very much intro vibes. What I will say is someone who grew up as a film, just obsessed with movies and films, and started with VHS. Yes, that's the era I'm from. Started with that, but transitioned into DVDs, and just growing up on DVDs, I still pretty much collect DVDs. The DVD Menu is something that I would fall asleep to all the time, just because like if a movie would finish, it would cut right back to the DVD menu, and I fall asleep to the movie at some point, and it's really late at night, you're on like movie 3, cuts back to DVD Menu, you wake up at like 4 in the morning, and there's always a soundtrack behind the DVD Menu, some sort of instrumental playing, just something that matches the vibe of the movie somehow, some way. And oftentimes it's usually not even like a song. It's usually like an instrumental type of something playing. That's the exact vibe I got from this. I got the vibe like as this song is going and going, I'm picturing a DVD menu actually in front of me, and then this is what's playing over it. So if that's what she was going for, and I have a feeling she was, just based on the title, she's got me ready. She's got me ready. Plus, like, the DVD menu starts the film. Okay, Garden Song. track 2. Oh, I'm still like, there's still slight chills on my spine from that. Just the feel of that. I like the feel so far. Very chill.
Someday I'm gonna live in your house up on the hill. And when your skinhead neighbor goes missing, I'll plant a garden in the yard. Then they're gluing roses. And when I grow up, I'm gonna look up from my phone and see my life. And it's gonna be just like my recurring dream. I'm at the movies, I don't remember what I'm seeing. The screen turns into a tidal wave. Then it's a dorm room, like a hedge maze. And when I find you, you touch my leg and I insist. But I wake up before we do it. I don't know how, but I'm taller. It must be something in the water. Everything's growing in our garden,
Which is what happens to a flower. Oh, that harmony, that low-based male-voiced harmony is perfectly matched with her. Going off of just nothing new, I'm so happy that this is exactly what I could have expected, vibe-wise, vocal-wise. This song again, very chilling following DVD Menu. And she said, first of all, I love that she just abandoned structure. You guys know I love when artists do that. But like the chorus was nicely structured within this sort of like wavy feel, which kind of lends itself to that DVD Menu. Like I feel like these songs kind of did somewhat blend into each other nicely, especially with like the movie theater reference she had made at some point. Or that she's watching a movie in her dreams. In the verses, it wasn't sort of so specifically structured. She's sort of making sure more than anything she gets her poetry across. She gets her very specific visuals across. Like everything she's saying, I'm so specifically picturing, and a lot of it is very haunting. I know she refers to something being haunted or this garden being haunted, but like there's a line in there about must be something in the water. She's growing taller, which the garden song, and she starts out describing this growing garden, and it makes me literally think of someone as a flower. I love that line about my resentment's growing smaller. I love that line, and I particularly loved her taking us through her dream, and it works so well too because the instrumental to this song is so dreamy. The first two songs so dreamy, and then if you're gonna take us through a dream, there's no better opportunity to do it than on an instrumental like that. And it's just so visually just I want to live inside this song, as scary as that might actually be. Like it feels almost like there's a TV show that I can't think of right now. I'm gonna have to remember to edit it into here right now, because it made me feel like this TV show actually. But yeah, she's having this dream and she's watching the movie, and then there's a tidal wave that comes through the screen, and then it leads her into this maze, and she wakes up next to, like, they're about, then all of a sudden she's with this person, they're about to do it, and she wakes up right before it happens. And just like her taking us through her mind to right at the start of this song is a lot to take in. And to start off your album like that means that we're in for it, basically. So for this next song, I do want to look up what this means. I'm just going to say that this is a place in Japan, and we'll go with that. And then please correct me or inform me. All right, Kyoto. I don't even know if I'm saying that right.
Oh, but I didn't. You called me from a payphone. They still got payphones.
Yeah.
It cost $1 a minute to tell me you're getting sober, and you wrote me a letter. I wanna kill you if you don't beat me to it. Dreaming through Tokyo skies. I
Oh, that drop down is nice. That vocal drop down is nice. Horns.
It's my little brother. He said you called on his birthday. You were off by like 10 days, but you get a few points for trying. Remember?
Oh man, that's
Don't forget it. But please don't. Don't forget
oh yeah. The more it goes, the more you. Okay, musically speaking, I absolutely love that song. I just love I love the directions it went into. I love how her vocals completely followed the direction that the song was going with musically. Just everything about that musically worked almost to perfection, actually. And it even had this sort of staticky feeling that I can't describe. It's almost like when because she's recalling a memory, this day that she spent in Tokyo and or Kyoto. It had this feeling of the vision that you would have looking back on a memory, and sort of the staticky view of it, and when you're looking back and things aren't necessarily so clear, but you do have the memories. I want to look up the lyrics, actually. Okay, so these lyrics, all I really have to say is wow. Like fucking wow. The way she incorporated all these words into here, it's just there's so many words in both of these songs so far, and I love that. And I love when you make it work, but not just any words though. Just so much stuff in here that's so interesting and appealing. Like some stuff as simple as the fact that she had the day off and she's in Kyoto, and it sounds like she's on tour because her band took the speed train. They went to the arcade. She wanted to go, but she didn't, which indicates that maybe she was going through something in her own, head. And then she goes on to let us know that she was, because this I assume this is like someone she has gone through some stuff with, called her from a payphone. They tell her that they're getting sober, that they wrote her a letter, but she doesn't have to read it, which indicates the fact that they've likely already been through some stuff with each other. They've been through this before, kind of. When you say, but you don't have to read it, you're kind of admitting to some kind of defeat or some kind of exhaustion or some kind of like, we've been through this before. Then the next line is, I'm gonna kill you if you don't beat me to it. And if you don't beat me to it, it means like you're going to end up killing yourself, but I'm going to kill you before you even do it to yourself, because of just everything that you've been putting me and us through. Wow. Okay. And then like next verse, getting into stuff that is simple and as beautiful as driving out to park at a Goodwill to stare at the chemtrail with my little brother. So doing all this with her little brother. Her little brother tells her that hey, they called me and tried to wish me a happy birthday, but they were off by 10 days. So I guess you get a few points for trying, but off by 10 days, that's a lot of days. You get a few points for trying. Remember getting the truck fixed when you let us drive it. 25 felt like flying. This makes me think that she's talking about a mother or a father here. Now that you're talking about the little brother, and this person got the truck fixed and let her and her little brother drive it. I don't forgive you. Please don't hold me to it. Born under Scorpio skies, which I'm not like super adept on astrology, but I would imagine that Scorpios don't forgive easily. And she's saying, hey, I'm born under Scorpio skies. I'm not going to easily forgive. I wanted to see the world through your eyes until it happened. Something very specific happened that was just demoralizing. Then I changed my mind. Guess I lied. I'm a liar. Who lies? Because I'm a liar. And the song just ends. Holy shit. I fucking love this song. I could go from start to finish on these lyrics and just tell you all about why I'm obsessed with every single part of this song lyrically. But we have a whole album to get into. I really, really, really love this song lyrically. Wow. This is how you storytell. This is museum, like put it in a museum in a premier location and just label it. This is how you storytell right here. Kyoto by Phoebe Bridgers. I've got to look up lyrics because there's a lot of stuff. It's so wordy in a way that you're not going to catch everything on that first listen. And two, part of the production makes it a little more difficult to catch specific words. And it's because of that haunting feel. It all has this haunting feel from the beginning. Since we started, track 1, 2, and 3 have been consistently haunting feelings. Okay, The next track is the title track, Punisher.
But we never met.
Yeah. Oh, this is so magical.
Here everyone knows you're the way to my heart. Here's so many stories of you at the bar. Either I'm careless or I wanna get caught. Who I'm not. What if I told you I feel like I know you, but we never met? It's for the best. I can't open my mouth and forget how to talk.
Wouldn't know where to start, wouldn't know when to stop if I had opened my mouth. And then throughout this song, if we never met, but I feel like I knew you, maybe it's for the best. There's so much in this song that's once again completely tragic, and insinuates just this completely shattered relationship, or maybe even lack thereof, according to this song, with somebody who clearly should have been an incredibly important person in her life. I don't know who she's talking about, but I will say that, like, as I'm listening to these songs, it's so I'm not sure 4 tracks in that I've ever been so mesmerized, just so like pulled in by the musicality, by the production, by the voice. I feel like I'm in a dream throughout these first 4 songs, and it feels like a bad dream. It feels almost like a nightmare, but like a nightmare that is coded by this mirage that is an actual dream, where you don't realize you're in a nightmare, but you're in a dream that's leading its way to that nightmare alley. And it's just like haunting. It's haunting. And like a lot of it is her voice, and a lot of it is the soft piano, almost this harp-like feel, and how she opens and closes at the perfect times. This got me so bad.
The only real reason I moved to the east side, I love a good place to hide in plain sight.
Oh, and then and then she
Told you I feel like I know you, but we never met.
she just knows how to.
Here everyone knows you're the way to my heart.
The way she sings those lines are just so honest. It's so specific to her. Like, I can't picture anyone else singing that how she just sang it. And that makes it hit in a particularly different way. It makes it hit in a particularly specific, like, this is my story. I'm Phoebe Bridgers, and this is my story way. And no one can duplicate this. It's chilling. Okay, speaking of chilling, Halloween is track 5. That's my favorite track so far. Here we go again. This is just, you're not meant to like feel good on this album.
I hate living by the hospital. The sirens go all night. I used to joke that if they woke you up, somebody better be dying. Baby, it's Halloween.
There's a little harmony back there
There's
she's
a
doing.
last time for everything. Whatever you want,
Oh,
be whatever you want. Whatever you want, be whatever you want.
This album could have only been produced one way, no other way, and it had to be this way. It had to be produced so specifically, and it was done in that way. Like I cannot picture. Oftentimes, I can listen to a lot of these songs, and when I say oftentimes, I mean oftentimes. I'll listen to some of these songs that on albums that we do here on the channel, or even on my own time, and I can love a song, but I can still picture it arranged in a different way, or even a part of it arranged in a different way, and I'm like, oh man, that's great. I'm imagining, if it was done like that. Not that it would be even better. It's just like something for me to imagine and think of. With this can't be changed at all. This can't be altered. This cannot be touched. The way it is the only way that it can live. And wow, that's just, you know how you see sometimes an album will come out and then there will be like fucking like 10 versions of a lot of the songs, and they're like super remixed in all these like, dance hall dance ways, or like house music type ways, or whatever it is. It happens to a lot of like albums, and particularly like the singles will be released as like mini albums. I would be so furious if that happened to this album. I'd be like, no, you don't touch art, you don't alter art. That's what this is. I listen to a lot. Actually, it's probably playing right now. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear this. Okay, so that's just storm sounds. So whether it's storm sounds or whether it's lo-fi music, whether it's like orchestra playing type vinyls, oftentimes like scores from films, depending on the film, a lot of stuff like that really just like calms me down. It really just like while I'm working, while I'm editing, while whatever I might be doing, I will play that kind of stuff all the time. It just like helps me. It zones me. This is going to replace a lot of that, and that might lead to me needing some extreme therapy, because because what's being said in here, like in Halloween, again, feels like we're talking about we can finally be whatever we want, because otherwise, if it's not Halloween, like we can't communicate. Like what we have here just can't exist the way it is. Now that it's Halloween, at least we can pretend. You can throw that mask on, and we could be. And it's so haunting again throughout the whole song, but like calmly haunting. Okay. Yeah. So even though I'm gonna play this a lot in the background, I'm just gonna have to somehow not take in all the words, because it'll make me pretty sad. Okay, Moon Song, track 7. Oh no, Chinese Satellite, track 6. Love that guitar.
Drowning out the morning birds with the same 3 songs over and over. I wish I wrote it, but I didn't, so I learned the words.
Yeah, songwriting stuff.
Come along till the feeling's gone. I want to believe.
Oh, the
Instead I
violins.
look at the sky and I feel nothing. You know I hate to be alone. I want to be wrong. You were screaming at the evangelicals.
The evangelicals.
And you said I will never be your vegetable, because I think when you're gone it's forever. But you know I stand on the corner.
Oh my god, I love the way this. I don't think I've ever paused this. I think I'm saying a lot after the songs are done, because I've never paused this like this seldom, because these songs need to just carry on and on from start to finish. They're so complete the way they are, and need to just be listened to thoroughly without stopping. This feels like this whole album feels like a relationship with a parent. I could be way off, but that's just what it feels like. And she's so particular with how she describes every song. This feels like it's in such a different stage, such a different place, but it does feel like the same relationship. And again, this song, the way she's touching on the difference of sort of belief system here. I guess because of the difference in belief, she can't be their vegetable, which sounds like it would have been a cute nickname, I guess.
Be your vegetable. Because I think when you're gone, it's forever.
That's her belief.
Through the walls, but that's impossible. I want to believe that if I go outside, I see a tractor beat.
That's up, but it's between that and Punisher for my favorite songs in the album so far. I was wondering if at any point we were gonna get a song that was a little bit more up tempo. I don't even want anything that's like, if we get it, I'll see and I'll judge it after I listen to it. But I don't. As this is going, I want this album to stay the way it sounds. I don't want to go anywhere else. And this song is close to going somewhere else, but at the same time, not really. It's just like the rest of the songs, just a little bit more up tempo, and it works so well because again, you're in this, you're in her mind, you're in her brain in all these songs, and this one again, particularly with her belief system, and she's like, I'll stand on the corner with a picket, just stand on the corner. The idea of like protesting, but like standing on a corner for all day, all night, however long it takes, if it means that after death, like I get to be with you. And I'm laying in bed, like I'm laying in bed and I hear you through the walls. And again, there's just sort of feeling of like someone not being there, but like they're so close she can reach them, but not quite. And it's just so, it makes you feel so many things, especially with the violins in this song and the way it builds up and down and up and down. And this album is making me excited in very specific ways that I don't often get excited about on this channel, aside from really like listening to like Taylor Swift or like when I did the Gracie Abrams album. This is what it feels like. I'd say those two artists specifically are the closest I've felt to this specific feeling right now, where I just want to live in the words of the album, like take every word out of this album and like put it on my body, like tattoo it all over my body, and let me just lie in those words, and then put me in a coffin with all the music just surrounding me. That's what I want with this. That's the relationship I want to have with this album. Okay, Moon Song, track 7.
Tuck your tongue down the throat of somebody who loves you more. I will wait for the next time you want me, like a dog with a bird at your door.
Oh my god. I'll wait for the next time you want me, like a dog with a bird at your door, a dog holding like a dead bird. And she either said that this person could have. There's so many lyrics that I have to look up after this, because just the way she sings and the way the production's working, there's a lot of lyrics that are getting buried, and a lot of it is that she's saying something. She doesn't waste any words, she is saying something constantly, and I need to look up just like the differentiator of if the person actually stuck their tongue down someone's throat and she had to sit there and watch it, or if they did it symbolically, or if she just imagined them doing it. I don't know. Either way, just that series of lyrics leading up to that dog at a door is haunting.
We fought about John Lennon until I cried. You're married and you might be dying, but you're holding me like water in your hands. When you saw the dead little bird, you started crying.
We're back to the bird.
But you know the killer doesn't understand.
Fuck, man. She's so good. She's so good. No. There's so much. First of all, she puts this person on a pedestal. She loves them so much. If she could, she'd give them the moon. And that's as much as you can do for somebody. But this whole this whole continuation, once again, by the way, of her being in a dream and having these thoughts in a dream, because a lot of the existence of her and this person happens in a dream. And she even mentions the theme. She's so specific with her lyricism, because like the dream was the birthday party and they were at the birthday party, and she even references the theme of the birthday party. And oftentimes in dreams, like we feel present in them, and there's like something we want to say, but we can't do it because it's a dream and we only have so much control. And in the dream, she's something she needs to say and wants to say, but can't say it. But then she comes back to, and this person's like married, by the way, and has this whole other life apparently, but they've got her like water in their hands, which can mean a few things. But what she brings it back to is that line with the dog and the bird, and the dog. A dog kills a bird, right? And not even always. Sometimes they just find a dead bird and they bring it to the door. It's kind of a known dog thing. But the dog doesn't know what's happening. The dog doesn't understand. Like it doesn't fully process that, like the life and death aspect of things. Not always. Particularly with bringing a dead bird to the door. Like, you don't want the dog to do that, but the dog does that. They don't understand that you don't want them to do that. They don't understand why. And she just mentioned that at the end. She's like, you're crying, you see the dead bird, but like the killer of the bird, her, doesn't know why they did it. And that's like that lyric right there. I need it again.
You are sick and you're married.
Sick and
You
married.
might be dying.
And you might be dying. Let's
But you're holding me like water in your hands. When you saw the dead little bird, you started crying. But you know the killer doesn't understand.
You know the killer doesn't understand. And in this situation, she's the killer, and you know that she doesn't understand. I don't this is lyricism of a different level, of an entirely different level. And it's not what I love. It's not like wordplay. It's not like all this tricky wordplay trying to like impress us with all this tricky wordplay. It's literally just her telling us exactly what's inside of her mind, as images and as dreams and as like a script almost of like an autobiographical visions. It's just this exactly what's been going on inside of her head and mind and through her own eyes. And it's not tricky. It's just like straight up, but yet it's still so fucking clever. Okay, I don't know how I'm gonna get through the rest of these tracks. Save your complex track 8. Like, I can't stop thinking of Moonsong. What is the bird? Did she kill everything? Is that what she's saying? And this like this person who I feel like is her father throughout this whole album. I don't know. There was a reference about sticking your tongue down someone else's throat, and like that would imply that it's not her father unless it's something she saw him doing that she wasn't okay with. I don't know. But like either way, that bird in the dog's mouth and her being the thing that killed it but didn't understand is fucking profound, on top of a million other profound things in this album so far. All right, let's go through Savior Complex, and somehow I'll try and move on.
All the bad dreams that you had, show me yours, I'll show you mine.
We're back into those dreams too. Show me yours, I'll show you mine. She showed us hers the first 8 tracks of this album. And I'm living inside of her dreams in this album.
Baby, you're a vampire. You want blood, and I promised I'm a brave liar with a savior complex. All the skeletons you hide, show me yours.
And I'll show you mine. I like that callback. Yeah. I like the dreams that you've had. Show me yours, I'll show you mine. Bring it here to all the skeleton. Show me yours, I'll show you mine. When we referenced lying earlier on the album. Also, this is now we're more in the lover spectrum, because she said that one hand on the wheel, one hand in your mouth, which sounds like a very weird way to drive. But that turns her on, apparently. To each their own. Again, entirely haunting. They're a vampire. They're out for blood. But she's got this savior complex, which would mean that, like, hey, I can, despite this, if you're out for blood, then you're not, like, you hurt people typically in relationships, but she's saying, no, I got this savior complex, like, I can save them. But now let's talk about our skeletons. The violins, by the way, on this album are outstanding. Perfect. Again, these songs can't be changed. They're perfect. Change nothing. Tony Berg and Ethan Gruska and Phoebe. So incredibly haunting, and I love this continuation of this dream that's continues to be overlaps throughout all of this. What an album! The strings are just magnificent. ICU track 9, the only explicit track on the album. So scary.
Laying down on the lawn, your work,
Fuck it up. Oh wow. I don't know what I want until I fuck it up.
something. I'll climb through the window again.
Just like that, it's over. Really clever with the ICU and then the ICU. Like, she's saying ICU throughout the song, but not saying it in the, you guys understand. It makes me think that there's like this symbolism of, because in ICU you're pretty much near death. It's like you're sitting on your deathbed essentially, and there's something about her spelling it out like that makes me feel like there's some kind of symbolism behind that. Again, some really clever lyrics. This one I liked a lot. I liked the whole, like, I don't like your mom, and it's funny how people can say so much when they don't know anything at all, because you're just like, when you don't know shit, it's almost like you're just filling space with a lot of emptiness. So I thought that was interesting, because it's something that I definitely may or may not have thought of before. Yeah, just and like a song that just fits the album perfectly, like all the other songs. What else is new? Graceland 2, track 10. There's not one song on here that I do not like. And like, there's not one song in here I'm indifferent to either. Everything is too cohesive and flowy. Okay, Graceland 2, track 10. Like a country song on the album. This is super country so far.
So she picks a direction. It's 90 in Memphis. turns up the music so thoughts don't intrude. Predictably winds up thinking of Elvis. And wonders if he believed songs could come true. I'm asking for
Phoebe. I feel like she's bringing up her inspirations to John Lennon and Elvis, and I feel like she's been very specific with those inspirations as well. Not only does she bring them up, but there's a specificity in the lyricism to that as well. Like when she brings up John Lennon, it was in the context of a conversation she was having with someone, and how it sort of led to like this passionate interaction. And now here she's talking about how like, did Elvis wonder if songs could come true? And if you're referencing an artist with that level of deepness in what you're thinking of, that means that like you really think that this artist is a really deep artist, like really thinks really deeply into things. Like I wouldn't just bring up any artist when I think of the concept of, does this artist also wondered, can songs come true? There's only a few artists I would think of when it comes to that kind of statement.
Chew on our cheeks and stare at the moon. Said she knows she lived through it to get to this moment. Ate a sleeve of saltines on that floor, and I knew that whatever you want me to do,
I like the harmonies.
do whatever she wants, whatever she wants.
I love her voice. She sounds incredibly consistent throughout this album, actually, vocally speaking. But I love the harmonies in this song particularly. Otherwise, I'm a little bit indifferent about this song. It's the only song so far that I felt that way about. Ironically, I just, after ICU, was feeling so much like, oh wow, nothing on this song do I not just love, and I was completely just like mesmerized by. I don't love Graceland 2, not on this listen anyway. It was a little too, it a little too heavily into the country sound, which I think doesn't fit on this album. Not that you can't obviously experiment, but I just think everything else is so cohesive that it stands out and not the best way for me. But she sounds amazing. She sounds beautiful, as always. Less hauntingly, though. More haunting on the other songs, less hauntingly on this song, which is probably a good thing, actually. Okay, I Know the End, track 11.
You had to go. I know, I know, I know. Out in the park, we watched the sunset, talking on a rusty swing set. After a while, you went quiet, and I got mean. Ended up with a pair of cracked lips, windows down, scream along to some America First rap country song. A slaughterhouse over the coast. Everyone's convinced it's a government drone or an alien spaceship.
The imagery.
We're not alone. I'll find a new place to be from. A haunted house with a picket fence to float around and ghost my friends. No, I'm not afraid to disappear. I guess the end is here.
Her imagery is like, her imagery is next level. Her just ability to lay out the imagery and can extend it too. It's not just a couple key phrases that lend you to picture exactly what's going on. It's her ability to like extend the scene, extend it for a whole minute plus. I'm living in this world that she's built, which sounds like it's where she's from, and it might be Texas, I'm not quite sure, but I know she ended up moving to the east to hide in plain sight, which is one of my favorite lines on the album, by the way. But yeah, just like everything, and then then you get to the spaceship line, to something about to hide from, so I could disappear away from everybody, like just so much going on in here.
To float around and ghost
my friends. There it is.
disappear.
Yeah. Well, I wish I could somehow, some way make all of you feel the. I'm sure actually I don't need to because I'm sure you felt this the first time you heard all of this. I feel like I just that was. I'm gonna use the word I've used throughout this whole album. That was haunting, but that was the most haunting moment on the whole album. Like that was like, and you know, the end is here or the end is near, whatever she was saying, and to lead you into the end of the song there and the end of the album. You're progressing and progressing and progressing, and I'm like, yeah, this is a great song. I'm really liking this. I love the imagery. I love how it's building and building, and this is a perfect ending to the album. But then it just gets fucking horrific. It just gets like I just feel like I'm placed in a horror film. The horror film that is this album. Punisher is a horror film, but it's not just like a cheap horror film. It's not a bad horror film. Most horror films are actually terrible, except this album here is just an exquisite horror film from start to literal finish, where at the end you just are given every goosebump you can possibly be given, but like in the most horrific kind of way. And I feel like it's fitting because it almost felt like she was. It's very dark to say, but it felt like throughout the album we were on our way to her death. I don't know. Well, that's just the feeling she gave me. She's so haunting with a lot of these songs and her vocals and the lyricism and everything going on, that when you get to the end like that, it's like, oh, I kind of expected this, but the way you did it just made it. It made me feel it 100 times more than I could have ever anticipated. Even though I feel like this is the only fitting end, is a death. My goodness, Phoebe Bridgers. I said this earlier on in the album at some point. I don't remember when, but I'll say it again. My overall feeling on this album is take every lyric from this album, put me in a coffin, put all the lyrics into the coffin with me, play the music, and just leave me in there. Leave me in there for however long it takes. And that's the only way to really experience this album, I feel like. And which would lead to the end, which would lead to the last track, I Know the End, which would lead to my end and my demise via Phoebe Bridgers and her own end and demise. What a Punisher. This feels like a punishment in the best possible way. Like I said, I have only felt this when it comes to lyrics that really like took me and cloaked me in a way where I feel like there's so much I need to look into after this video is over, and listen to these songs over and over again, understand these stories, read the comments to this video, and just understand where her mind was and what she's saying in a lot of these songs. I've only felt that with Taylor Swift and the Gracie Abrams album I did recently. This is what it feels like. Phoebe Bridgers has catapulted herself to the top of that list. Yeah, this is just storytelling at a different level, imagery at a different level, living in Phoebe's dreams at a different level. How many artists can create an album where you feel like you're living in their dreams and everyone is so different and vivid, and it works, it comes across so specifically and works so well? How many artists do that? Not many. I'll leave you guys with my favorite tracks. They are Garden Song, Kyoto, Punisher, Chinese Satellite, Moon Song, and I Know the End. Savior Complex was pretty damn close, by the way. I try to like really keep it to less than half or half at the most, but sometimes when it comes to albums like this, I can't help myself. I know that some of these are gonna grow on me, though, that I did not put at that level. It's just this project doesn't really. You can't separate songs, I feel like, with a project like this. Everything is just one whole entire organism. Thank you guys for putting me on to Phoebe Bridgers. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the poll on Patreon, by the way. So thanks for that. I've got to go listen to this album on my own time, in that coffin, with all the lyrics, with the coffin door closed, on some real dark shit.